Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys about 15 things you need to know before you buy the Weeny Issi Classic that'll be coming to Grand Theft Auto Online very soon. So this is once again one of Rockstar's unreleased vehicles that is actually scheduled to come out in the next vehicle pack. So you guys know the new way Rockstar is doing unreleased vehicles now is they're sort of releasing them in bunches instead of individually. So when this vehicle does come out, it's going to be available on the Southern San Andreas Super Auto site. It's a compact vehicle. It's a two-seater, and its price is $565,000, which is actually relatively cheap based off of all the things you get to do with this vehicle, which is actually quite a lot. And I'm really excited to talk about this. A lot of people are going to, immediately skip over this, say it's a compact Weeny Issi Classic. I don't want that. This is actually a really fun car. So let's dive into why it's so fun right now. So the first thing is the customization. For a compact vehicle, this has 23 categories of customization, which is just awesome. That means you're going to be able to mod this up as little or as much as you want. And I love when Rockstar gives players a lot of creative freedom to design all their vehicles with lots of different options. So that immediately is really great. The first thing that's interesting about the Weeny Issi Classic is the bodywork. So the bodywork changes like the little rings and outside pieces of the mirrors and the headlights. So depending on what you choose, black trimmed, part carbon, part primary, part secondary, full primary, full secondary, it'll change sort of like the trim around the windows and the headlights, which is really unique. Now, it does this on all sides for the front and the back, the side, and everything like that. And I've never really seen a car that had something like that before. So I thought that that was actually pretty cool. The next thing is the bumper options. Now, the bumper options aren't all that unique, but you'll notice that it actually changes the license plate. So on the stock, secondary, and carbon bumper, you have a license plate where the text is sort of off-centered to the right, and there's a Weeny Issi logo on the far left. However, if you upgrade to any of the other ones like Painted Street Bumper or Carbon Race Bumper, you'll notice that the Weeny Issi logo is removed, and instead you get the letters that are centered. Now, another thing about this vehicle is the unique front license plate, which we'll touch on in a little bit, but that's a way in which you can get an even more unique version, one that does not have the Weeny logo on there and the text is actually centered. The next thing that's pretty interesting about this vehicle is the interior. So you can actually get 4 different interiors, which is kind of cool. So the first interior that can be found on stock tour lights, primary rally lights, and secondary rally lights is sort of this like wood paneled interior with like normal bucket seats and whatnot. And then as you get further on, there's a carbon street interior, a sticker bomb interior, and then a stripped race interior, which is by far the most extreme. So there's 4 different interior options for this vehicle, probably something you didn't know about. All of them are a little bit different in terms of changing the seats, changing the dash, changing the steering wheel, and that's also going to have an impact on how the secondary and trim color will sort of affect the vehicle as well, which we'll touch on in a little bit. But that is cool that you get 4 different options for the interior. After that, you have exhaust options. Now, not only are there a lot of exhaust options, they're very weird, like replacing turn signals and making them exhaust. I didn't know that was a thing. To some of the big carbon ones at the bottoms that just don't make sense. They're massive, big exhaust pipes. So I'm not sure what Rockstar was thinking here, but there's some pretty unique exhaust options, which is kind of strange in my opinion. Now, as I was talking about earlier, the license plate on the front is very unique. It's very similar to something like the Pagale, where it's really long and thin instead of that sort of rectangle license plate we have right now. However, it's only on the front. You still have a normal, regular license plate on the back. So I'm not sure why Rockstar didn't do both. So I do think that vintage looking license plate on the front actually looks pretty awesome. So I'm a big fan of that, and I like what Rockstar has ultimately done there, but it's not on the back, which is kind of strange. All right, let's get on to the primary, secondary, and trim color now. This vehicle has all 3. The primary color is very self-explanatory. It essentially covers the entire exterior of the car. So anything on the exterior, the primary color is going to take advantage of that. The secondary color is also pretty interesting too. The secondary color actually does the outside of the headlights and also the outside of the trim. So it's kind of hard to see, So I think I ended up going with chrome as my final product. And then the trim color is, of course, the interior. So it's going to change the side paneling of the doors. It's going to change the trim of the dash. And this will, once again, vary based off of the interior that you have. So for example, if you have one of the racer interiors, the secondary color will actually change the stitching on the inside of the seats. Again, it's all going to depend on the sort of interior you choose. This one was a more simple one, so there was less options. But if you do the more racer one, you can actually change a lot with secondary and trim. So that's kind of cool. The next thing are the roof options. These are very strange. There's 3 of them on here that I've never seen on any other vehicle. The first is wood vinyl, which obviously looks hilarious. The second one is checkerboard roof that almost makes this look like a taxi cab. And the third one, I'm not even sure what this is. It's called mosaic roof. It looks like someone dropped a bunch of colorful candies on the roof, and that was it. So I've never seen any other vehicle have customization like this, which is kind of cool, a nice unique feature of the Weeny Issi Classic. Speaking of the roofs, on the spoiler options, spoilers don't necessarily have to be a spoiler, but they will still give you a traction bonus. So roof rack, ski rack, surfboard, and small luggage, even though they aren't spoilers at all, they aren't wings, they're still going to give you that traction bonus, which I actually think is hysterical. So really funny right there. I went with the surfboard option because I thought it was ridiculous to have a massive surfboard on the top of your car, but still get a crazy traction bonus on the vehicle. So that right there is awesome in my opinion. Now, the next thing we need to talk about are the stock rims. So these stock rims can be changed, or at least their color can be changed via the iFruit app. So if you want to make them black or pink or purple or whatever the case is, you could. However, if you want to easily find them in the lowrider section, you can. So just go to lowriders and then go to turbine, and those are the rims. They're literally not different in any way, shape, or form. The stock ones might be a little bit bigger. That's the only thing I can see, but the design is absolutely the same. Now, once we get this vehicle outside of the LSC, there's a couple more things I wanted to check out, including opening up all the doors. So you can open up, obviously, the passenger and the driver door, and the hood as well. One thing I thought was pretty funny was the trunk, the way it opened in the back. It's so cute. It's just a little trunk, but I like the way it opens and how you can kind of see into it. And also, another thing that's impacted by the primary color is the engine cover, or the engine block. So whatever your primary color is, the engine block is going to take on that exact same color, which is cool for car shows, or if you have one of the vanity hood options where you can actually see straight through the hood itself. That's something you might not have known about this really awesome vehicle. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, like I said, you can change the color of the stock rims. I'm doing this in single player, and online this will require you to use the iFruit app, but you can change them to whatever color you want. So that is nice. It's going to add for more of a degree of customization on this vehicle. Now, one thing I'm very disappointed in the Weeny Issi Classic is the headlights. So I specifically added the extra set of headlights because I wanted to test this, and they don't freaking work. What is with Rockstar's inconsistency of some sets of extra headlights working while others do not? I firmly don't understand their logic behind this, because this would have been perfect. So the bright and low beams on this light, they're literally the same lights. They just get brighter from the same source. Again, really unfortunate, as I'm a big fan of those extra tour lights, but the fact they don't work is really unfortunate. So kind of a bummer right there, Rockstar, I'm not going to lie. All right, moving on. The next thing I wanted to test out was the top speed of this vehicle. Now, this is in the compacts class, so I'm not sure how many people are honestly going to be using compacts in races or even doing a compact race. But we were actually able to get this up to 101 miles per hour. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be competitive with the Brioso RA, but that's how fast we were actually able to get this pretty nimble and pretty swift vehicle. Now, I want to talk about a couple things I think the Weeny Issi Classic missed out on. And for the most part, I think it's just pop culture references. So the first thing here would be the Mr. Bean car. I thought this would have been pretty cool if Rockstar had a like a sofa or like a couch cushion or chair to actually go on the top, because that would have obviously been perfect from the movie Mr. Bean. And then I would have loved to seen a British or like English flag on top, kind of like how we can do with the Dukes. Maybe even have all the country's flag variants on top. So I feel like that would have been really perfect for this vehicle. Aside from that, there really isn't much. It's nimble, it's quick, you can turn on a dime. It's got great customization. There isn't really one thing off the top of my head I can think of that I wish they had on this vehicle. There's just a couple little pop culture references that I think would have been really cool and would have improved the value of it just ever so slightly. But that's me nitpicking at this vehicle. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think it's a great car. I'm going to have so much fun when this releases, but I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, because that right there is my review and guide and 15 things you need to know about the Weeny Issi Classic before you buy it in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know in the comments down below, are you going to be buying this vehicle, or are you going to be skipping over it? You really don't have a need for it. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.